whatever we have done in the previous classes. We have started with the Gantt chart and we have specified the advantages and disadvantages of the Gantt chart. And if you remember, we said for the Gantt chart, one of the biggest advantages that it's very easy to be visualized. I mean, it's shown in a bar chart. The bar chart are very simple in terms of viewing, in terms of reading it compared to an arrow diagram method. Okay? So one of the biggest advantage the Gantt chart that it's easy to see since they are using bar charts. Okay. The second advantage of the Gantt chart, it's very easy for me to represent the actual versus the planned. Okay. So normally when it comes to Gantt chart, we do actual versus planned. Why we are doing that? To show whether we are ahead of the project, whether we are on time, or whether we are late. So for example, if you can see in this dotted line, you can see that it was planned. I was planning to finish detailed design by 11th of October. But what happens? I have finished in reality, which is the actual. I have finished before 11. It means that I'm faster than the beast, I'm faster than the plan, which is something which is good. Okay. So once again, the two advantages of the Gantt chart. One, that it's very easy to be visualized. It's very easy to be understood. Second, that it's very good when it comes to comparison between actual and plan. Now there are disadvantages of using Gantt chart. One, that the arrows or the relationships are not clearly stated compared to an ADM. If you see in the ADM, we have used arcs or arrows to represent the relationships between the tasks. It's very clear that we have a relationship between A and D, but we don't have a relationship between B and D, okay? Since arrow or arc is shown. Now, when it comes to Gantt chart, it's not easily defined. Now, which task is depending on which task? Okay, which task is depending on which task? Like for example, when it comes to the detailed design, is it depending only on overall architecture, or is it depending on defined specification and overall architecture? Do we have two relationships or we have only one relationship? That's not something which can be defined by the Gantt chart. Because if you see detailed design starting after the overall architecture, but once again, overall architecture can be depending as well on the defined specifications. So once again, detailed design can be having two relationships rather than having only one relationship. It might be that detailed design is depending on both overall architecture and defined specification, or it might be only one relationship, which is overall architecture. Okay. So once again, one of the hardest things in Gantt chart is to know the relationship between the tasks, unless you are involved in that particular project. The second disadvantage that it's a little bit harder for me to calculate for the critical path or to know the critical tasks. Unless you keep tracking, if you remember in the Gantt chart, we check which path starting from the beginning, how many, and what will happen. Now, when it comes to the ADM, if you remember in the last class, we have just done calculation. Based on the calculation, you will know which tasks are having zero gap or zero flexibility, and these are going to be your critical tasks. If you add the critical tasks which are coming in the same line, you will find your critical path. Okay, and once again, the path is distance from the start to the end. Path is period, or path is let's say the journey from start to the end of the project. The third, the third method will be coming after seeing certain disadvantages of ADM. Now, advantages of the ADM, which is the second method, are the same disadvantages of the first method. So the first method we said relationships are not shown. So the ADM came and showed the relationships. In Gantt chart, we said it's very hard for me to find the critical path. So in the ADM, it was easier to find the critical value. Now, if we know the disadvantages of the ADM, then we'll know what are the advantages of the third method, which is the PDM. Okay. Now, one of the things which are considered as a disadvantage with the ADM, sorry, is the fact that if you remember, we used to have, for example, if we have task number A, let's say task number A is having a duration of 5. Okay, task number A is having a duration of 5. It's starting on Sunday and it's finishing on Thursday, right? Do you agree that it should start on Sunday? For example, if we are starting our project on Sunday, it will be finished on Thursday. Do you agree? Do you agree if we have started on Sunday that we should finish on Thursday? Okay. Now, normally here, our working days are starting from Sunday to Thursday. Okay. Our Friday and Saturday are considered to be weekends, right? Do you agree? Do you agree? So our weekdays are Sunday to Thursday. Weekends are Friday to Saturday. Now, when it comes to the ADM, when we have used it, if there is any task coming after A, and let's say that it's B, and B is having a duration of 3, you will see that this is representing 0, this is representing 5 now. We used to take this number, which is 5, and we used to calculate directly. So 5 plus 3 is going to be 8. Now, if you are taking that into account, it means that this is Thursday, and you are taking 3 days from Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, so Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So you are going to say that I'm going to finish in Saturday. Do you agree? This is as per whatever we have done in the area. If we are starting Sunday and finishing on Thursday, the next task directly will start on the same day. If 5 is Thursday, then the other 5 is Thursday. Right? Let's say this is Sunday. So 6th is going to be Friday, 7th is going to be Saturday, and 8th is going to be Sunday. Do you agree? Okay. So once again, let's assume that we have, let me just delete this one, give it a little bit clearer. Okay. Let's say I have 2 tasks, task number A and task number B. Task number A is having 4 days. Task number B is having, let's say, 3 days. So we used to calculate that this is going to be 0, 0 to 4, and then this is going to be 4 to 7 now. Okay, 0 to 4, and then 4 to 7. Okay. Now, if we try to represent that in terms of days, then we are having Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So this is going to be Wednesday. Yeah. Wednesday. Now here, 4 should be Wednesday as well. Now, if we do the calculation, that 4th is representing your Wednesday, then 5 is your Thursday, 6th is going to be your Friday, 7th is going to be your Saturday. Do you agree? We are doing the same calculation. Then 4th is going to be Wednesday, 5th is going to be Thursday, 6th is going to be Friday, and it goes on, right? Now the ADM does not understand that we do have Friday and Saturday being our weekend. Okay? The ADM does not represent the gaps which are weekends. It keeps adding the values above each other. 4 plus 0 plus 4 is 4. The other task is going to start from 4 and it goes on. Now the other method, the new method that we are going to see today is, for example, we are going to have task number A. And in task number A, we are going to have, let's say, 5 days. Task number B, we are having 3 days. So now you can see that this is 0, this is 5. Now the other method is going to be allowing you to have certain gap, certain artificial gap. Okay, like whatever I have shown here as plus 2. Okay, plus 2, and this plus 2, we are going to see it, we are going to call them as lag and lead. Okay, we are going to call them lag and lead. And we'll learn what's the meaning of lag and what's the meaning of lead as well. Okay, so plus 2, it means that this task now is not going to start at 5, it's going to start at 7. That's 5 plus the artificial 2 days. The artificial means added. Okay, so 5 plus 2 is going to be 7. So this will start now at day number 7, and then we are going to add the 3 days, so it's going to be 10. Now, what did I do? By adding the 2 days, I have considered the weekend. Is it clear? So in my calculation, this 2 is representing the weekends. The same thing that you need to do when it comes to national holiday. When it comes to holidays or official holidays, do we work normally on official holidays? Do we work normally in official holidays? National holidays, for example, Eid holidays, do we work? We don't work, right? Now, if we don't work, shall we consider them as working days? Shall we consider them as working days, or we need to have artificial days as gap between the task and the other task? Okay, so we need to keep gap between the task, or even within the task itself. Okay, or even within the task itself, which allows that in these particular days, you are not going to work. Now, what if you didn't consider these days? What if you didn't consider the extra days? What will happen? If you didn't consider the weekends, and if you didn't consider the national holidays or official holidays, what will happen? You will see that your plan is for working and non-working days. Okay? So you have considered you have finished, or you have considered working and non-working. But in reality, you have only considered working days, because we are not going to work in the non-working days. So it means your plan is going to be totally different from the actual thing. In the actual, we are working only in the working day. While if you are using the ADM, you are not showing any difference between working days and non-working days. It means that in reality, you will have always a delay. Okay, you will be having always a delay because of the difference in terms of planning. Your planning is for weekends and weekdays to be the same, to be working days. So I'm assuming in my plan, 7 days are working. Actually, in reality, I'm working only for 5 days in a week. It means instead of finishing 7 days work, I'm finishing only 5 days work. And that means that you are going to be late. You are not going to finish in the correct planned time. Is it clear? Are we clear about the concept of lag and lead? Are we clear about the concept of lag and lead? Are we clear about the concept of having the gap? Okay. Okay. And we'll learn further how to calculate them. But you should know that one of the advantages or one of the disadvantages of the ADM, which is an advantage to the BDM, that BDM is allowing you to have the artificial gaps, okay, the artificial gaps or overlaps called lag and lead. We can show extra values or minus values to show and represent something. Okay. Now we had plus value and we learned that it's a gap. We will learn something else later on, which is an overlap. So that's the first disadvantage of the ADM, which is an advantage for the BDM. Once again, the disadvantage of the Gantt chart is an advantage for the ADM. The disadvantage of the ADM is an advantage of the BDM. Are we clear? Are we clear? Okay. The second gap, the second disadvantage of the ADM, second disadvantage of the ADM, if you remember, when we have solved this particular question, I have showed you, I think, from the PowerPoint. Now, can you tell me what type of relationship is available here? What type of relationships are available between the tasks? Can you tell me what's the relationship between A and F? According to you, what is the relationship between A and F? The relationship between A and F is that I need to finish A in order to start F. Do you agree? Do you agree that the relationship is finishing A to start F? So we are finishing A and then we are starting F. What is the relationship between A and B? Is it finishing A to start B? Between A and B, is it finishing A and then starting B? I'm talking about the relationship now. I'm talking about the relationship. A and D, I didn't say B. A and D. Can you start D without finishing A? Can you start D? Can you start D if you didn't finish A? So you need to finish A in order to start D. And this is the question that they have asked and you said no. Let's finish A to start D. I need to finish A in order to start D. What is the relationship between D and G? What is the relationship between D and G? I need to finish D in order to start G. Do you have an arrow between D and G? Do you remember when I told you if I have a task, here it's going to be start and here it's going to be finished? Did I tell you that? Did I say that? I said, right? So if this is start and this is finish, and you have a relationship between them, what's the relationship? It's finish to start. We kept saying it for 100 times in the last class. I need to finish A to start F. I need to finish A to start D. I need to finish D to start G. I need to start B to finish G. I need to start C to I need to finish C to start E, and it goes on. I need to finish E to start G, right? What type of relationship is available in ADM? There is only one relationship available in ADM, which is finish to start relationship. All the tasks are connected only in a manner of finish to start. Do you agree? Do you agree that all the arrows are going from finish side of a task to a start side of a task? Can you see that all of them are coming out from the right side and then going in the left side? Okay, so all the relationships here are finished to start. Okay, all of the relationships are finished to start. Now, this is one of the disadvantages of a Gantt chart, that it allows you only to have one relationship, which is finished to start. Now, if you use other relationship, your plan is going to be a little bit faster. Okay, if you allow for other relationships, your plan is going to be a little bit faster, and we are going to learn what's the meaning and how to make it faster. Okay, so once again, there are two disadvantages of the AD. One, that it does not allow you to have the gaps and overlaps, which is artificial that we talked about for the weekend and the holidays, and that has been taken in the BDM, so it's an advantage for the BDM. You cannot find it. Okay, you cannot find it. This is from the previous semesters. I have already solved for you this problem. I have solved it in the last class. Did I solve this problem in the last class? This problem? So the problem has been solved. You don't require the PowerPoint. I'm just using the PowerPoint because I cannot return back and draw for you the same thing. The solution, you need to return back to the class. Open the class and then you'll see. Okay. Or you can take a picture now if you want. If you want to have the picture, you can take a picture. Or to keep it simple, Now, if you go and open your Breezy, you'll find your problem and your solution. And that's it. Okay, so you can see the question and the solution. Okay, and I'll try to do the same for the Gantt chart. For the Gantt chart, I have given you only the problem. I try to attach the solution to it. Okay. Are we okay till now? Are we okay? Okay. Okay, no problem. So we said, if you remember, we said BDM. That is, okay. So if you can see BDM, it says for you BDM extends ADM. So whatever is available in the ADM is available in the BDM, but BDM is having extra things which are two. One is extra relationships. We said in ADM we only have finish to start. Now in BDM you will be having four relationships: finish to start, finish to finish, start to start, and then start to finish. And we are going to learn these things with examples. Okay, so once again, ADM is having only finish to start. In BDM, you don't have only finish to start, you have finish to finish, start to start, and then start to finish. And then it says for you in BDM, we have now overlap and gap, which is lead, gap, which is lag, and this is the artificial days that we have talked about. Okay, so once again, two disadvantages of ADM, which were that we have only one relationship, which is finish to start. So BDM came with more relationships to make the plan a little bit faster. We said in the ADM there is no room for the holidays because it's adding up the values directly. So what we had overlap or gaps here. Okay, we had lag and leads. Okay, we call them lag and lead. Lead means overlap, lag means gap. Okay, let us see some examples. Let us see some examples. The first one says for you finish to start. It says for you finish to start. Now, Can you see in this particular example? Take this one. Okay, let's say that I have this one now. Let me have all of them together one time. I'm just trying to copy in the whiteboard so I can draw for you. In the page you cannot draw. Okay. Now, if you see here, we have four examples. We have four examples. One of them is the typical relationship that we are having, which is finish to start. And you can see in this particular example, that if we divide A, this is my A, this is my B, and we said that this is start, this is finish. this is start, this is finished, you will see that your relationship for the first example is finished to start. The arrow is going to go from the right side to the left side. Okay? So it's finish to start. Okay? So an example of that, one example of that, making the drawings. I need to finish the drawing in order to start the construction. Do you agree? Do you agree that I need to finish the drawings in order to start the construction? Do you agree that I need to finish the drawings in order to start the construction? Okay, so this is an example. This is an example of a relationship which is finished to start, okay, which is an example of finish to start. Now the other example is start to start. Okay, the other example is start to start. Now, can you see the relationship is going from where to where? Can we see the relationship is going to go from where to where? Now, if you see, the relationship is going to go from the start of A to the start of B. That's why we call it as start to start. Is it clear? Are we clear about the relationship, how it goes? You need to follow the arrow. The arrow is going to go from the start of A to the start of B. So if I gave you an example that we are using, for example, we are using now this statement of finishing the drawings to start the construction is correct if we are using, for example, design with build, if we are using construction management at Rust. You remember in design with build, we used to do the drawing and the consultant, and then we used to give it to the contractor. So he will start the construction. In construction management at Rust, we used to do the drawing in the consultant, and then we used to give it to the construction manager. So in both scenarios, I need to finish the drawing in order to start the construction. Now, in the third method, which is design build, in design build, do I need to finish all the drawings to start the construction? In design build, if you remember, do I need to finish all the design to start the construction? We said no, if you remember. We said no. As long as they are sitting in the same place, you can start the construction after finishing a certain portion. And I have given an example of Oman Railway. You remember, right? So in this scenario, I can say that I'm going to start the drawings in order to start the construction, rather than saying I need to finish the drawing in order to start the construction. Is it clear? Rather than saying I need to finish the drawings to start the construction, I will say I need to start the drawing in order to start the construction. Because in design build, I don't need to finish the whole drawings. Are we clear? Okay. Another example, which might be little bit easier for you. Now let's say that I have a road. I have a road of 20 kilometers. Okay, I have a road of 20 kilometers. Okay. We cannot do the asphalting for 20 kilometers at one time. Okay, we cannot do the asphalting for 20 kilometers at one time. So what do we do normally? We go and put it in portions. So for example, the first 3 kilometers, and then the other 3 kilometers, or 1 kilometer, and it goes. It depends on the company. Okay. Now, if I finished the first portion, we have done the asphalting already. We have finished doing the asphalting. Okay, if we have finished doing the asphalting, of course, I'll be turning to the second part. Do you agree? Do you agree if I finish the first part, I can go to do the asphalting for the second part? Okay. Now after doing the asphalting, one of the most important things is to do the leveling. After you do the asphalting, we need to ensure that the leveling is done. Okay. Once again, we have done the asphalting. After that, we are doing the leveling of the road. Because in certain portion, it might be that the asphalt is more, and in certain portion, the asphalt is less. Okay. Asphalt is a material used for the roads. Asphalt is a material used for the roads. Okay. Now, if I started to do the asphalting for part number 2, okay, so this is part number 1, this is part number 2. I have finished already part number 1 asphalting, and then I started the second part asphalting. Now, if I already start the asphalting for the first part, for the second part, I mean, if I started asphalting for the second part, can I do the leveling now for part number 1? Or I need to finish all the levels? Level 1. Let's say, can I do the leveling here and then asphalting here? Is it possible? Once again, I finished the asphalting from the first part and then I started the asphalting in the second part. Now, whenever I am doing the asphalting for the second part, can I do the leveling in the same time? For part number 1, can I do the leveling? Okay. Once again, finish the asphalting for part number 1. I need to go and do the asphalting for the second part, and then the third part, and the fourth part, and it goes on. Now, if I have finished the asphalting for part number 1, shall I wait for all the parts to be finished with asphalting and then I start the leveling? Or I can start the leveling after finishing one part of asphalting? Okay. Now in this scenario, you can see that we have two tasks. One is asphalting, another one is leveling. Now I can say that I'm going to do the full asphalting. After that, I'm going to do the leveling. But it's going to take from me a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of time from me because I need to finish the whole asphalting. After that, only I can start the leveling. Do you agree that it will take a lot of time? Okay. Now, if I told you, now the relationship is asphalting. Whenever we start asphalt, we can start leveling. Is it going to be faster than the first one or slower? Do I need to finish the whole asphalting to start the leveling? No, because the relationship now is start. I don't need to finish the asphalting in order to start the leveling. Okay, so it's going to be faster. So once again, finish to start relationship is not going to allow you to faster your project. The other relationships are going to allow you to do so. Okay. Yeah, you can keep 1 day, 2 days, but you don't need to wait for the whole parts to be finished. Okay. Eventually it's going to be faster. Okay. The third relationship is finish to finish. And you can see here the relationship is going to go from finish of A to finish of B. The relationship is going to go from finish of A to finish of B. Okay? From finish of A to finish of B. An example that I need to finish approvals to finish the submission of the house. Okay. Now, for me as a contractor, I can ask the person to receive his house, even if not everything has finished in terms of approvals. He can receive the keys of his house. He can receive the keys of his house, even if not the full approvals has finished. Okay. But officially, when he will be receiving the house, when he will be receiving the house and I'll be submitting the full house, is only when all approvals have finished. Okay, so in this scenario, I need to finish all the approvals in order to finish the submission of the house to the client. Okay. Instead of finishing the approvals, and then at that time I'll be giving the keys to the client. Are we clear? As a contractor, I can finish all the approvals and then give the keys to the client, or I can finish certain approvals, give the keys to the client. He will go and, for example, beg a carpenter. He can say, okay, I want a cupboard here, I want this thing here, I want this thing here, and then he will save some time. When he will receive the house or the project fully, he will receive it only after the approvals have finished. Okay, so in this scenario, finishing approval to finish the submission of the house. I don't need to wait for the full approval to receive my house. Okay, I can initially receive my house, but I cannot say that I have received it fully. Are we clear? So once again, in this scenario, it's going to be faster than having it to be finished to start. Okay, it's going to be faster than having it finished to start. The last relationship is start to finish, and this is the only relationship that is not used in construction. Okay, start to finish is the only relationship that normally is not used in construction, and not normally used in major sectors. I mean, in major sectors, because planning is not only in construction, but this is a relationship that is very rarely used. Okay, in construction, we can say that it's never used. Anyhow, we can see here now what I said. I need to start A to finish B. Okay, I need to start A to finish B. Now, what happens? Okay, what happens? Let's say that we are working as security guards in a hospital. Okay, we are working as security guards in a hospital. My friend, whose name is Muhammad, my friend who is Muhammad, okay, is normally coming from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. Okay. Muhammad is coming 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. And then Ahmed is coming from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Okay. So once again, the duty of Muhammad is 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. The duty of Ahmed is 9 a.m. to 9. So I was there. Okay, I was there. Now it came 9 p.m. It came 9 p.m. but Muhammad has not arrived yet. Can I finish my duty? Or I need to wait for him? It came at 9 o'clock, but Muhammad is not there. Can I leave the place or I need to wait for him? You need to wait for Muhammad, right? You need to wait for him. Okay, you need to wait for Muhammad. So now what I can say in this relationship, whenever Muhammad is going to start his duty, my duty is going to finish. Do you agree? Do you agree if I say that whenever Muhammad is going to start his duty, my duty is going to finish? Can I say like that? Okay. So once again, whenever Muhammad is going to start his duty, my duty is going to finish. If Muhammad has started his duty at 10 p.m., then I can only leave at 10 p.m. Are we clear? Is it clear now how it starts, how it is start to end? Start when Muhammad starts his work, my work is going to finish. Are we clear? Are we clear? Okay, very good. Okay. Okay. Now the last thing to talk about is going to be your lag and lead. Is going to be your lag and lead. Okay, so let us take a picture as well, so we will understand what is the meaning of lag and lead. Okay, so it says for us BDM extends ADM to include lag and lead. Now, if you can see here, now if you see A is going to start at day number 0. 0 plus 10 is going to be 10. Okay. In regular cases, B is going to start at 10. If we are finishing A at 10, then B should start. Do you agree? This is what we have done in the ADM. If A is finishing at 10, then B is starting at 10. Do you agree? In the ADM, I'm talking about the ADM. Okay. Now, if you see here, what do we have? What do we have? We have plus 5. Okay, we have plus 5. It means that you have kept 5 days. This 5 days could be a holiday, a national holiday. Okay. So instead of me starting B at 10, now B is going to start at 1. 10 plus 5 is going to be 15. So we are going to start B at 15 and then it will finish at 25. Is it clear? Are we clear? So what did I do here? What did I do? What did I do here? I kept 5 days gap. Okay. I have done 5 days gap, and this gap, in technical terms, we call it as a lag. Okay. We call it as a lag. We call it as a lag or positive lag. Okay. We call it as a lag or positive lag. Okay. The second scenario is where we are starting A. Okay, we are starting A at 0. We are finishing A at 10. Now there is 5 days overlap. Okay. There is minus 5 here. There is minus 5 here. It means that 10 minus 5 is going to be 5. 5 plus 10 is going to be 15. So what did I try to do? I tried to overlap them. I tried to start B little bit faster than the regular base. So I started B 5 days before the actual day. The actual day is 10. Because if A is finishing at 10, normally B should be starting at 10. But what I have done here, I have fastered the base by 5 days. Okay, so B will start now at day number 5. What did we do? We have done an overlap. How much is the overlap? 10 and 5. The overlap is 5 days. Whenever we are overlapping, okay, whenever we are overlapping, we call it as a lead or a negative lag. Okay, positive lag is a gap. Negative lag is being an overlap. Okay, is being an overlap. Overlap is normally used whenever you are trying to faster your work. Lag is normally used if there is non-working days. Okay, and if you see these two are not possible to be used in a these two are not possible to be used in an ADM, and they are not possible to be used in a Gantt chart. Okay, normally we are going to use them in a BDM or whatever we call it as a critical path method. Although in newer Gantt charts, if you are using software, we can consider these as well. And we are going to see, hopefully next week or the week after, an example of using a software. And by the way, next week I'll not be there. Another lecturer is going to take the classes with you. Another lecturer is going to be there for the time of the exam, and maybe the week after as well. So the upcoming 2 weeks, most probably I'm not going to be there. Okay. Now we have finished the advantages of the BDM. Okay, we have finished the advantages of the BDM. And we said the BDM is having extra things over the ADM, which are the lag and lead. Okay, which are the lag and lead. And the other thing, which is the relationships. We said instead of having only one relationship, we are going to have 4 relationships. Okay. Now returning back to our basic, where we are going to try to solve the problem. Now this is a problem that we are going to tackle. You can see a lot of things are there. A lot of things are there. Let us see here. Now you can see that we have different activities. Okay, we have different activities. There are description. There are references. Description is referring to the company, how the company is going to describe the activity. Okay, how the company is going to describe the activity. So normally it depends on the activity. I mean, it depends on the company. Since it depends on the company, we are not going to tackle this particular thing. Okay, like for example, electrical, mechanical, okay, construction, and it goes on. It depends on the reference of or the description from the company itself. Reference is the same thing. The reference is the numbering. So task number A is having 10, task number B is having 20, or 1, 2, 3, the numbering of the tasks. If you see H's repeated 3 times, all of them are 80. Okay. So number 8, task number 8 is representing H. So you can write it in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can write it as in terms of 10, 20, 30, 40. That's numbering system. Okay. Now the most important things when we are going to draw are the activities. These things, since they are related to the companies and they will not affect your solution, we don't require them. We require the duration, we require the related activity, and we require the relationship. Okay, so let me just take this one. Okay. Okay. Now, if you see, we have activity, duration, related activity, relationships. Now, the first thing we need to learn how to draw. So if you remember, in a Gantt chart, it was bar chart. In a ADM, it was a node, a circle. Now in BDM, it's going to be a box. Okay, in BDM, it's going to be a box. Now in this box, what do we have? Okay, this is the box that we are going to use. Okay, this is the box that we are going to use. Here we have early start, like whatever we had here in the ADM. Here we have early finish. So once again, early finish. Here we have late start, late finish. So late start, late finish. Here we have duration. So here we are having the duration. Here we are having our duration. Here we are having the task name. So the task name, let us say. So here we have task and then the duration. Other than that, what we are having here, we are having something called start float. Okay, we are having something called start float. Start float. And start float is going to be the difference between the start, late start, and early start. Okay, which is the float, if you remember the float and the gap. Okay. And then we have something else called finish float. And once again, this is going to be the difference between the finish floats, latest finish and early finish. And then the last one is going to be total float. Okay, total float, which is equal to late finish minus 8 minus early start minus duration, and we'll see why is it happening so. And what you need to know that total float is going to equal to minus early start minus duration. Okay. So to explain this particular equation, from where did we come up with this particular equation? Let's say now you have 7 days. Okay, you have 7 days to prepare for your. You have 7 days to prepare for your exam, and out of the 7 days, you require only 3 days of preparation. Okay, you require 3 days of preparation. Once again, you have 7 days. Total period you have 1 week. Okay, starting from Saturday. Okay, or starting from Sunday to, for example, let's say to Saturday. Okay, we have 1 week starting from Sunday to Saturday. Okay, which is representing 7 days. Okay. Now you require for your study, you require 3 days. Okay, any 3 days. It can be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Can be Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Can be Sunday, Thursday, and Saturday. Any 3 days within the week. Okay, so once again, the period that I'm having, the total time I'm having is 7 days. I have 1 week, and according to my plan, I require 3 days to study. These 3 days can be consecutive, can be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or they can be any 3 days. Okay. Now to get how many gap days I have, your gap days, we are going to say total period, which is late finish minus early start, the first time minus last time. Okay, so Sunday minus Saturday, we have 7 days. How many days of studying do I require? I require to study for 3 days. Then my gap is going to be 4 days. This is from where we have got the equation of total float. So once again, the total time, how will you get the total time? You will get it from late finish, the last time for me to finish, minus the early start, the first time for me to start. Okay. So that's going to be representing the total time that you have. From the first time that you can start to the last time you can finish. Okay, minus the duration. Minus the duration which is required. Okay. So this is the explanation of total float. and how to calculate. Now going and trying to try to draw, at least we are going to try to draw the PDM. We will not do the calculation because it's not sufficient. We'll try to draw first. Okay, now if you see here, let me zoom out because it requires a lot of space. Okay, now you can see A and B are starting from where? A and B are starting from where? A and B are starting from where? We can see that the related activities for A and B are nothing. The relationship are nothing. It means that they are starting from the beginning. Okay, so I go here, I'll draw a box. And then I'll draw another box here. Okay, and we say that this is A. This is A. This is B. The duration of A is how much? The duration of A is 3 days. The duration of B is 4 days. Okay, so we have finished. We have finished from A and B. Now going for the C. C is going to come after A. What is the relationship? The relationship is finish to start plus 1. How to read it? Okay, how to read it? We are going to read it as finish A to start C. So the first letter is going to go for the related activity. So finishing A to start C. So I need to finish A. I need to finish A to start C. The name of the task is C. The duration of C is 2. Do we have any plus or minus? We have a plus or minus, which is mentioned here as plus 1. So plus 1, which is mentioned here. Now after finishing from C, we are going to go for D. D is having a relationship from B. What is the relationship? Finish to start. So I need to finish B in order to start C. We are going to draw the start later. Okay, well, let us draw the start now. So this is start. The duration of the start is 0, if you remember. So now we are in D. D, if you see, it has 2 relationships. One is from B, one is from C. So we'll go and draw the B one. So I need to finish B in order to start D. I need to finish. See, the arrow is going to go from the side of finish. See, it's going to go from the side of finish. So finish of B to start of D. And you can see the arrow. You can see that the arrow is going to go from the finish of B to the start of D. And the relationship is 2 days. The relationship is 2 days. So we have finished. We have finished from this D relationship, meaning there is another relationship. The relationship says for you finish plus 3. So I need to finish C in order to finish D. I need to finish FC because the arrow now is coming from the finish side. And I need to finish C to finish D. Okay. I need to finish C to finish D, and then the relationship or the gap is going to be +3. So this is +3, and we have finished from the D. Now going for E. Going for E, what is the relationship? The relationship is finish B to start E. Okay, so finish B to start E. So I'll just draw E here. I'm just going to draw E here. So this is E. What is the duration of E? The duration is 4 days. 4 days. What is the relationship? The relationship that we need to finish B to start E. So the relationship goes finish B to start E. Okay, and we have finished from E. And then we have F. We have F, where F it says for where F it says for you, you need to start E to start F. Okay, so I'll just draw it here in the same line. When it says finish to finish, it's better to draw the task in the same line. When it says for you start to start, it's better to draw it in the same line as well. So I'm going to draw F here. I'm going to draw F. What is the duration of F? We can see that the duration of F is 6. So the duration is 6. What is the relationship? The relationship is start E to start F. Start E to start F. So I'll go and take it is from the start of E. It is from the start of E to start of F. It's only a matter of knowing the arrows going from where to where. And then we have +2. So we're going to write here +2. Okay, we are going to write it as +2. Now after we finish from F, we are going to go to G, and you can see the relationship is finish F to start G. Finish F to start G. So I'll go here. I'm going to draw G here. The task is G. The duration is 3 days. The duration is 3 days. The relationship is finish to start. So we need to finish F in order to start G. So we have finished from F. Or we have finished, sorry, from G. Now H is having 3 relationships from D, E, and G. Okay. D, E, and G. So we'll draw it somewhere. We'll draw it somewhere here. Okay, we'll draw it somewhere here. So this is my H. The duration of H is 6 days. The duration of H is 6 days. Okay. The first relationship for H is finish D to start H. So we are finishing D to start H. Okay. We are finishing D to start H. And then we need to finish E to start H. So we are finishing E to start H. And then after that, After that, we have starting G to finish starting G to finish H. So we are going to go from the start of G to the finish of F or finish of H. Sorry. Okay. Once again, it says from you. It says for you. You need to start G. So we started G to finish off H, and then we have +1. So this is going to be +1. And the last activity we are having, the last activity is K. The last activity is K. Okay, where it says finish H to start K. So I'll just go and draw K here. This is K. The duration is 2 days. Okay. The duration is 2 days. And then we need to finish H to start K. Okay, we need to finish H to start K. Now, I need to check. I need to check whether all tasks have finished or not. Okay, I need to check how many tasks have finished. So I can see we said the task will be finished if there is an arrow going from the finish side. Okay, so you can see that A has finished because there is an arrow. There are arrows here. So finished. This is finished. This is finished. 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 This is finished. This is not finished because there is no arrow going from the G finish side. There is an arrow going from the start, but it does not mean it's finished. Okay, and there is no arrow going from the K. Okay, so K didn't finish yet, and G didn't finish yet. So in order to finish them, we are going to have we are going to have finish or end, and the duration of end is 0. Now you can see, or let me just remove the dots. So we said we need to have n, and then the duration is 0. The relationship, we need to finish A to start n, and then we need to finish G to start n. Okay. Doing that, we have done the drawing of the BD. Now you can see it's not hard, but it requires a lot of concentration. It requires a lot of concentration. Now I'll try to solve. Okay, I'll try to solve the forward back. Okay, I'll try to solve the forward back, okay, and I'll explain it in details next class, or the other lecturer is going to explain it next class. Okay. The solution. Which solution? I didn't complete it yet. When I'll complete, or the next lecturer will complete it with you, you will get the solution. Okay, so you can see here, if we try to solve, early start is 0. 0 plus 0 is going to be 0. 0 plus 0 is going to be 0. If you remember, in the forward path, if you remember, we had taken the tip of the arrow, or the head of the arrow, right? And we said we are going to take the maximum. Do you remember? Do you remember this? We said if we are going from start to end, we are going to look at the tip of the arrow and then we are going to see the maximum. Okay, now you just concentrate here with me. I'm going to try to solve it. Okay. So here we have one arrow going from 0. So 0, 0 plus 3 is going to be 3. One arrow going inside. So it's 0, 0 plus 4 is going to be 3. One arrow is going inside C. 3, 3 plus 1 is going to be 4. 4 plus 2 is going to be 6. Are we clear till now? Are we clear till now? Okay. Now you can see D. D is having two arrows going inside, so I'll leave it now. I'll finish first the task with one arrow. Okay, so I'll go for E. E is having one arrow, which is coming from 4. So 4 plus 4 is going to be 8. F is having two arrows. Okay. Now F is having only one arrow going inside. From which side? From the side of 4 or from the side of 8? The arrow is coming from the side of 4 or the side of 8? From the side of 4 only. The arrow, you can see if you return back, the arrow is coming from this side, from the side of 4. So 4 plus 2 is going to be 6. 6 plus 2 plus 6 is going to be 12. 4 plus 2 is going to be 6. 6 plus 6 is going to be 12. How many arrows are going inside? 1. From the side of 12 or the side of 6? From the side of 12. So 12 plus 3 is going to be 15. Okay. Now here we have 3 arrows. Okay, so we cannot solve it yet. We need to go and solve D. D is having 2 arrows. Okay, D is having 2 arrows. Now if you can see, the first option is B. Okay, the first option is B. Now if we are taking B, which is 4, okay, if we are taking 4, so now it's going to be 4 here. 4 plus 2 is going to be 6. So this is the first option. First option, the first option for us, okay, is 4 and 6. The second option is coming from C. One line, one arrow is coming from B, another arrow is coming from C or D. Okay. Now in D, what you can see, you can see that the arrow now is coming from the side of 6. So 6 plus 3 is going to be 9. 9, is it acting on the right side or the left side? So once again, 6 plus 3 is 9. So 9 is going to come on the right side. Okay. If 9 is coming here, 9 minus 2 is going to be 7. Okay. Now we said we agree while going forward path, we are going to take the maximum. So the maximum of the two is 7 and 9. So 7 goes here, 9 goes here. The same thing goes for task number H. Task number H is having 3 arrows. Arrow number 1 is coming from the side of D. So if we take D, then it's going to be 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. So 9 and 15. And then if we are taking it from E, we are taking E, then it's coming as 8. So from E is coming as 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. Okay. So the second option, which is E, is 8 and 14. Okay. The third option is coming from 12. Okay, the third option is coming from 12. So you can see that 12 plus 1 is going to be 13. So 13 here. 13 minus 6 is 7. 13 minus 6 is going to be 7. So the third option, which is Z, is going to be 13 and 7. Which one to be chosen? The one to be chosen is the maximum. So it's going to be 9 and 15. How many arrows going to K? Only one arrow, which is from 15. 15 plus 2 is going to be 17. How many arrows are going inside N? 2 arrows. One is from 17, one is from 15. Which one to choose? 17 and then 17. So the final duration of this particular project is 17 days. And you need to continue the backward path. Now the backward path and solving the question once again hopefully will be done by the other lecturer next week, inshallah. Okay. So once again, I have taught you how to draw. I have taught you how to calculate for the forward path. Remaining is backward path, which will be given to you by the other lecturer hopefully, inshallah. Okay. Any question that you have? Any question that you have? Once again, it's not hard, but it requires a lot of concentration. You need to track the arrow is coming from which side, going to which side. And you need to be careful of the plus and minus. Another hint to be taken. Another hint to be taken. If you're having plus or minus, when you are going to go for forward back, the plus will be taken as plus and the minus will be taken as minus. Now, if you are returning back, this is forward back. If you are returning as backward back, we said we are going to take the tail, we are going to take the minimum, and you are going to revert the sign. So if it's plus, you will take it as minus. If it's minus, you are going to take it as plus. Backward back is always the opposite of forward back. Are we okay? That will be clear a little bit when the other lecturer is going to solve it for you. Any question that you have? This is part of test 2. No, I told you test 2 is still ADA. This will be included most probably in test number 3 if we got approval for test number 3. Okay. Meanwhile, to avoid any confusion, I'll try to solve the full problem for you, drawing it forward path, backward path, and then I'll upload it in your team in case of anything has happened. Okay. I'll record it and then I'll send it to you. Any question that you have before finishing class? If you don't have any question, then we have finished our class.